How's that go? You've heard of Elf on a Shelf? You've heard of avian bird flu, but have you heard of avian bird nuke? Yeah, I guess birds are exploding now. That's f***ing great. Have we asked RFK Jr. what he thinks? San Francisco, what the f*** you guys doing, man?
It's a mystery. I think that's how we all feel, is it's inexplicable.
If what's happening along Bernhardt Avenue in Richmond is a mystery, then these are the neighborhood detectives.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Residents say what has been happening high along this power line since February just isn't adding up.
Sounded like a firecracker, and a black, I think it was a starling, just plummeted to the ground.
They say there have been more than 50...
Dog, is this like the bullshit? Is this like drones again, but birds? This has to just be the bullshit again. In order for them to make the title of this exploding birds, like, someone here is aware of the birds exploding. You know what? I'm gonna let them take it away.
Instances of birds dying along this top power line.
Super traumatic to see this.
Neighbors say after hanging up awareness posters
Report
like the
all dead birds. Bernhard at Gmail. Report any history of birds, single firecracker sounds, any poll activity. Please help us. No, this is like crazy urgent, bro. The birds, what are we gonna do?
and repeated calls to PG&E, there was little action. When a worker came out to inspect the line,
He literally seemed like befuddled.
after reporting on the story Sunday night. On Monday, PG&E told ABC7 that they reached out to the California Department of Fish and
These are the exploding birds, bro. The death pigeons, bro.
Wildlife to evaluate several of the dead birds. In a statement, PG&E said Fish and Wildlife shared that the birds show no evidence of electrocution and that their deaths were caused by trauma, potentially from a pellet or BB gun or a slingshot.
But I feel like a BB gun doesn't make firecracker noise.
And I can't fathom somebody could be that accurate all the time.
PG&E also said they do not believe that there was an issue with our electrical equipment and agrees that these birds were not electrocuted.
I know where the sound is coming from, and it's coming from up on the pole.
That particular wire does sizzle and arc at times.
We reached out to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, who confirmed PG&E's statement, but reiterated the cause of death was not clear. For the residents along Barnhard, whatever the cause, something needs to be done sooner than later.
We just want it solved, like at the end of the day.
In Richmond, Dion Lim, ABC7 News.
Dude, jihadist birds? That's f***ing crazy, man. A disturbing avian mystery is unfolding in North Carolina town where residents have been reporting birds exploding. Security cameras even recorded one fowl's fatality, showing it falling to its death from some power line after a loud pop was captured in footage. The mystery deepened on Monday when investigators released the results. They're investigating this Yo. Exploding bird mystery, dude. When's the documentary, dude? California Department of Fish and Wildlife's Wildlife Health Lab. Why is it wildlife twice? It had received 2 dead birds, a mourning dove and a European starling. Richmond resident Maximilian Ballin said he witnessed several birds succumb to a horrible death after perching on power lines. Has anyone checked Maximilian Bin Balling? Is that an account on Twitch? Bro, he probably does this live. He's the one shooting him. He's balling. He's like, yeah, dude, he never misses. Like, with a name like this is definitely the culprit, bro. So when they land and it happens, they just quickly explode and it's really violent. Bro, can you just fix the damn power line? Like, is it this serious? Like, come on, son. There's no way it's this serious. Look, they got more. As the casualties have mounted, the birds hitting the power line. As the casualties have mounted, locals have speculated on everything from the birds being electrocuted by power lines to a phantom serial bird killer. Dude, the phantom serial bird killer is on the loose. Get out of here. We gotta find him to track them down. This is what the we're doing with our tax dollars, bro. PG&E said it sent crews to examine the power pole in the Richmond neighborhood that residents have cited as the possible root of the lethal problem. The company said the power pole in question is compliant with an avian safe guidance established by the avian power line in... Yo, no way, they got a committee, dude. The APIC, the APIC, they got investigations committees, bro. Like, holy, what they got, like, there's a phantom serial bird killer on the loose. The utility company said that it asked the Department of Fish and Wildlife to evaluate 2 of the bird corpses. Ballin said he and his neighbors just want the deaths to stop. Yeah, he's the motherfucker doing this shit. Anyone else cover this? Or is ABC the cutting edge? Birds dying at an alarming rate. Now, here's what I want to look into. The only way I could twist this in some type of way that would be like truly mysterious and crazy. This is like some Stephen King. If they're dying, right? They've only investigated 2 birds, bro. Let me see the autopsies, man. Yeah, see, this is what I would want to relate it to, right?
A jarring sight. Dead birds litter the shoreline in East Patchogue.
I know there was 3 seagulls, 1 cormorant, and I got a count of 11. I think they're bufflehead ducks.
Tim Jones went to walk the beach on Wednesday with his family.
He said bufflehead duck.
Was surprised.
I had never heard that. But this was linked to the avian flu. So with the other birds, with the exploding birds, like you remember how like COVID was transforming and transmutating? The avian flu just transmutated to the avian nuke, bro. Mystery solved. Call RFK Jr. He'll tell us to take some fucking vitamins. Done deal.
That's actually a lot of high fructose corn syrup, and you shouldn't be putting that in your body. Especially because I used to do heroin with the Hines family. This is not a fucking joke. I got steamed broccoli right here. Put that inside your asshole.
Every single time I click on a different article, there's some guy, he said a bufflehead duck. Like, come on, son. I'm not trying to hear no bird nerd. I want to hear like the conspiracy. Isn't there a conspiracy where like birds dying and just like flocks? Like in a M. Night Shyamalan, the birds all die, like 400 birds die, and then it's linked to like aliens. This is proof of aliens. If you really think about it, they should get some higher ups on this. They should get the Trump administration to investigate this, bro. Yo, Birdwatch. I told one of my friends about that insane schizophrenic bird article of the bird investigations, and he sent me a link. Dude, this is from 2011. On New Year's Eve, 2,000 dead birds rained down on Arkansas. CNN did an article 14 years ago.
Massive fish and bird kills in Arkansas. Up to 5,000 blackbirds just fell from the sky in the town of Beebe. This happened just before midnight on New Year's Eve. And then tonight, we're learning that some 100,000 fish.
Yo, you saw the 2011 Ford Ranger, bro? This is so 2011. This is crazy. Yo, look at the birds, though.
We're learning that some 100,000 fish have washed up on the shores of the Arkansas River.
Yo, you know what, dude? Did this happen in 2012 when people were doing like the end of the world shit? Oh, dude, if it was going into 2012, that would have been insane, bro.
About 125 miles from where the birds fell. And joining us now by phone from Little Rock is Keith Stevens. He's the spokesman for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Keith, Jackie Jarris also here with us.
Here we go, bird investigators.
What's going on here? These are 2 very unusual circumstances.
Pretty strange things going on here in Arkansas. Unusual events that we don't often see. We do have fish die-offs from time to time. Obviously, this is a pretty large one, so it's got our attention. The birds, that's really unusual. We've had birds that have fallen out of the sky before, but not in this number.
Yeah, we've heard.
Dude, that looks like Silent Hill, bro. Dude, how are the bird investigators going to keep up with that? You see how many autopsies they're going to have to do?
Sky, you know, due to storms and thunderstorms and things like that. What do you think happened?
Well, we think that there's a possibility that maybe some New Year's Eve revelers in the area.
If I saw this, I'm freaking the out. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Maximilian Baller with the baller BB gun. Come on, son. That's bullshit. Dude, this is a fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie, bro, that happened in Arkansas.
Birds were roosting. May have shot some fireworks off and stressed the birds to the point where they actually died.
We're talking now in the break. You think it might have literally been that they had heart attacks because they were so it was such a fright for them.
It's possible. We're going to send the birds off to 2 testing facilities.
Yeah, the bird autopsies, bro. They did autopsies on the birds. They did a full-fledged investigation, literally.
Where they'll do necropsies on them, and we'll find out exactly what happened. But this, it's really pointing towards that right now. It obviously could be a weather event, but we're kind of leaning the other way.
Yeah, and this was, 5,000 birds. That's a lot of birds, and they were scattered across a pretty large area as well. Can you give us a few more details? People woke up.
Dog. But 2,000 birds versus a coughing baby? Have you ever thought of that?
And the birds were in their yards.
That's right. It happened just before midnight. One of our wildlife officers was actually on the scene. By the time he got there, there were still birds that were falling. It's a rural area of Arkansas, and there's a lot of blackbirds that tend to migrate around the agricultural fields in the state, and they were roosting in an area where they typically roost, and there was some people that in the subdivision that were shooting some fireworks off in celebration of...
Oh, I think he just doxed the whole thing, dude. Did he just dry snitch? Dude, it's New Year's Day. They definitely were like... Like, you ever seen XQC play that stupid fireworks game on the 4th of July? Live footage of Arkansas 2011. This is... Dude, did they ever figure this out? I figured it out. You see this? You see this shit right here? Look at this.
Here I go, I guess.
Yeah, here we go. Yo!
Oh my god! What
Dude, he's a bird terrorist. Arkansas bird investigators, y'all gotta do better, man.